been very successful.
Yeah.
Ever since Coach took over and just doing some big things.
Well, I mean, just listen to Coach Weiser talk. It makes everybody understand how not only the sport of soccer, but especially girls soccer has grown in the United States. And that's not here in Kentucky, but in the United States. And you think about some of the high school teams in this area that have had some really solid programs and have built consistency as far as winning programs are concerned. And then you look at, here at West Jessamine, you look at Boyle County, you look at in Lexington at Lexington Catholic, you look at LCA, you look over there at Tate's Creek, and then just down the road down here you got Woodford County. So that's about 8 or 9 schools within 20, 25 miles of each other that have really got some programs that are consistently good in the state of Kentucky, and that just does nothing but help out the area colleges like Asbury, like Georgetown, like UK, like Northern, those types of programs. So once you get some high school programs even more established, you'll watch the college soccer scene in the state of Kentucky grow even bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, just watching his team perform last year, and his daughter was probably one of the better players in the state. You could put her and Eva Mitchell from West Jessamine 1 and 2 there, or even 1 and 1. Both of them were just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they both ended up being on this national team that was just announced earlier today. I'll get Coach to talk about that a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly the name of it, but it's supposedly this huge thing that's happened for them, and they've been honored with being on that team. So let's go ahead and bring Coach into the program. And Coach, how you doing tonight?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing really good, Coach. So what do you got coming back this year?
We have a good bit of talent. We bring back 10 starters from last year, plus 2 starters that were out injured. Kids that would have definitely started, but we got about 1 game out of them last year, and then they were on the shelf.
I know you're a proud pop. Your daughter going to go play for the University of Kentucky, and she's going to be playing alongside with Eva, who we mentioned earlier. But that's going to be. UK's got a heck of a recruiting class just in those two.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think Abigail and Eva become good friends. I think they competed, that night in November, but they kind of befriended each other.
Yeah.
Going through the same experiences this past spring, and the rest of the recruiting class, the coaches at Kentucky have done a greid job bringing in lots of talented kids.
Talk to us about last year's team and just the ride that you had with it. You guys did amazingly well in that Lexington Catholic Cup that they had up there, and here in Lexington, the Lexington Catholic High School, and which is always you have the state tournament and you have that. I think it's 1 and 2. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's the quality of that tournament. So ever since Terry started there at Lexington Catholic, if you were one of the better teams, that's where you wanted to be. Lexington Catholic does a great job with it.
Talk to me, again about last year's success and just start with the early part of the season to when you knew that you really had something special there.
I knew we had lots of pieces coming in. We had a pretty good run. My first year at Simon Kenton, lost to Sacred Heart in the Sweet 16. But we brought back, a majority of that roster. And then, last year had a couple good freshmen that came in. And then we were bringing back tons of kids. And I knew we had the pieces. Abigail kind of helped us get over that hurdle because it was a young team. Like in that state semifinal game, we started 8 freshmen and sophomores. So we kind of found our rhythm right before the Catholic tournament up in Zionsville, and then it kind of kept rolling from there. And we got to Lexington Catholic's tournament. I had a little slow start against Tate's Creek, found a way to score a goal late, and then just from there, that confidence built, and the girls kind of ran with it. And I was just trying to not mess it up.
You were 21-4-1 last year. Just amazing season that you had there. Unfortunately, like you said, it come to an end there in the state tournament against West Jessamine, who went on to win the state championship. But you guys, I mean, tough schedule, big wins. Early on in the season, it looks like your test against Tate's Creek that didn't go good for you, although it was a close game with 2-1. But you guys, South Oldham, Assumption, Dixie Heights. It looks like I'm just reading down your list of victories here. Walton, Verona, Grant County,
Avon High School.
Yeah, Avon, which is in that Zionsville tournament. That's a big thing up there too, right?
Right. They had, that Avon team had like 3 seniors that went Division I. Number of ECL kids. So that kind of got us going. We were still trying to figure out how we were going to play. We really didn't settle on something until right before the Catholic tournament, on where we were playing kids. I mean, we just kept moving them around and kind of prepared the kids that that's the way it is. We bring back, basically every starter from last year, minus Abigail. But we pick up a couple kids that would have started, but they had an injury, and and their stuff was pretty minor. So, we're excited about where we are. We've had a good week and a half of preseason. In Zionsville this year, they've got us into the Group A, which is the top group with Carmel and Penn, who won the Indiana State Championship, and Notre Dame Toledo. So Zionsville is going to really give us a little insight about where we stand regionally and nationally.
Is it tough losing some of the seniors that you lost off last year's team? Obviously, Abigail's a huge loss for you, but everybody else there, Coach. Let's look up and down you.
We only had 2 seniors last year.
2 of them, yeah.
Yeah, and one.
Courtney Morgan.
Courtney's going to play at Bluffton, Div 3 school up in Northern Ohio, and then of course Abigail's at Kentucky, and Courtney played a good role for us, but we bring back, you take out Abigail, we bring back 10 starters, and but the reality is probably of our top 13 returning, every one of them got better. Bottom jump levels in club, and what level they were playing at, and so we made a big jump there. And then of course the kids are healthy, and then we've gotten a couple talented freshmen. One of them played in the region championship game up in South Dakota with her club team, as an integral starter for them. So we're excited about this group.
Haley Doherty, she had 18 goals last year. Morgan Stamper, 13. Looks like Maria, how do you say that last name, Coach?
Abinante.
Yeah, she had 12 goals for you. You got all of them returning.
we do, and probably 2 of our most talented players. One was a freshman last year, and we played her at center back, and she kind of for that game at least, she kept Annie Lee and Eva in check. I mean, that was a great pair, and Kevin had a great team last year. But she was really an integral part of that back line. Well, she's going to be moved to an attacker this year, and we have another freshman coming in that's going to probably fit in that back line. And then the Kayla Coleman kid, she's on the futsal national team, and she plays for Ohio Lead ECNL. She didn't play. She played like 1 game last year. Picked up a foot injury at national camp in the summer. Tried to play through it in preseason, and then we shut her down after a game or 2. So it was a bummer not having her, because she probably, I would say, she's somewhere between kind of a cross of Eva and Annie Lee as a player, real technical, but has some crazy creativity to her because of her futsal. So she's done a couple things in practice. She had a finish the other day that it kind of scratched my head, and I'm like, that's a difference maker. So
yeah, got to be exciting seeing that kind of thing from the sideline there.
It is, and she's a sophomore, so that's a huge bonus. And goalkeeping wise, we've got 3 great keepers in the program, but we bring back a junior who started since her freshman year. Skyland's been to a number of Div 1 camps, and she's already got the school record for shutouts, and I think she kind of had a little foot injury all year that we kind of didn't fitness her a whole lot and just try to keep her healthy. And she's 100%, so we're surprised not liking her preseason very much this year, but
How's the district up there? You know, you're coming out of the 8th region, but District 32, how's that for you?
I mean, it's soccer is, you know, we definitely we're the biggest school in our district. The other schools are Grant and Walton Verona are fairly small schools. So, you know, we hope that I think we've won district probably 8-9 years in a row.
Oh wow!
We hope we can continue that trend. And the region, you know, I mean, the region has South Oldham, who has 5-6 state titles to their credit, and Oldham County and North Oldham. So, and then there's, you know, any other school, Collins or some other schools that pop up here or there. But, you know, the Oldhams always, you know, are very good. I remember Abigail's first year at Sacred Heart. Oldham County was in the Final Four, and we had to play them there. So Oldham's got some tradition. North Oldham has lots of talent. They were pretty young last year. And then South, Kenny Burke might be, I think he's one of the best coaches in Kentucky, boys or girls. So.
Yeah, you guys, you got a great opportunity once again this year to not only win your district but also the region. Looking up and down your schedule here, Coach, looks like you got South Oldham starting things off on August 14th.
Yes, yeah, we start off with South Oldham and then play a local team, Cooper High School, and then we have Notre Dame and Assumption within that next week, and then we have Ryle is always a top 20 team, and then a district game, and then we're off to Zionsville. So the first 3 weeks of the year, we'll have a pretty good understanding of where we are, and we just want to try to get better. I mean, at that point, it's just, you know, learn and get better, and try to keep making adjustments to where we can find our niche. Because, you know, we talk to the kids about it a lot that we want to play well, but we don't want to play our best soccer until we get, you know, into late September and October, because it's hard to sustain it for 3 months being great. I mean, it's hard for any team. It doesn't matter at any level.
Yeah. So you guys are going to be back in, you said the Zionsville tournament. You're going to be back there. You're playing Notre Dame Academy out of Toledo. Then it looks like Penn out of Indiana. And
somewhere in Indiana.
Somewhere in
they've
Indiana.
got
Mishawaka.
Mishawaka is
there. You go.
They're in Douglas.
They might have one of the top 3 forwards in the nation. Kid Krista Lynch, who's going to Florida State. She led them to a state title last year. I think they went undefeated, and she can play. So we're excited about those challenges. I mean, that's how you get better. I've always tried to play tough teams, and I think it benefits you because the real season doesn't start until you get to mid-October.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have you back on before the next tournament that we're going to talk about, which is the Lady Knights Challenge Cup. We plan on being there a lot of those games, if not all of those games, but it looks like Tays Creek, Sacred Heart, Assumption, Highlands, you all with Simon Kenton. Let's see who else is in that thing.
Notre Dame and Assumption.
Notre Dame's always good too, aren't they? It just seems like
they are. I think Notre Dame has probably won the 9th region, you know, 5 out of the last 6 years, or maybe all 6 of them. That's a first-rate program. So
Tays Creek's going to be really good. Let's talk about these teams that are in the Knights Challenge Cup, because obviously we got a big interest in that, and then covering your team and everybody else's team there. But you got Tays Creek, Coach Allie Tucker, and Tays Creek. I think Coach Langster's still hanging around there a little bit here and there, but
Bo's there a bit.
They're going to be good.
You know, Coach Tucker, you know, her father was a fantastic coach. You know, Cy did wonders at South, and Allie was part of a state championship, I think, with him or 2. You know, Allie's done a fantastic job. You know, I mean, Bo left the program in great shape, and it's great that he's still around. And you know, Tays Creek had a great year, and I think they were pretty young last year, so I would expect Tays Creek to be, you know, right there in the mix as we go through the year. Catholic, you know, I mean, the Tranter kid. You know, she's going to give you a chance to win a game every time they play. And then Assumption, they have a new coach this year. She's an alumni. And she actually brought on John Michael Hayden's wife, Holly, who she was a star at Assumption and U of L. And then Sacred Heart, Jacqueline's done a great job there with that program. And then Highlands, we actually played Highlands in the finals last year, and so we're blessed to play them in the first round this year, I guess. And the Manuel's always had a good program. Underwood used to be the coach, and the new coach has done a nice job with them. And I'm drawing a blank on who the.
Yeah, the Knights Cup last year, I can't remember off the top of my head. Was that you all or was that Highlands that ended up walking away with that championship?
We did.
I'm just messing with you, Coach. Just messing with you.
Yeah.
No, we know, and like I said, we're proud to have you guys. Some of your games, here on Prep Spin, because you are such a great team, and it's always an honor to cover you all. Especially you, Coach. I like your style from the sideline. You got tricks up your sleeve a lot.
Well, I don't know. We try. At the end of the day, I try to think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah.
I've been coaching on the boys' side some. You're forced to, especially when you're playing against the St. X's and Trinities of the world. You have to think outside the box, and like the switching of the goalkeepers. We did that when I was at Ballard against Oldham County. And we had that year. The only reason we did it, we had two senior goalkeepers, and one was a great field player, and the other one, a great goalkeeper, and he kind of earned the position. But the other kid was maybe one of the best kids I've ever coached, Connor Murphy. He played 4 years at Bellarmine. He was on the roster there, and we just felt like it was an opportunity to get Connor some clock, because he was just as much a part of the victories as as Cody, who was in there full time. And so I like that, and I think it'll be something we continue to do, even though it won't be Abigail and Skyland in the goal. We may throw somebody else in, alternating with Skyland, and I think it makes the shooters think a little bit. So you never know. We might try something crazy.
Yeah, so we talked about the tournaments that you're playing in between the Zionsville and the Lexington Catholic tournament. But your schedule, looking up and down your schedule, it's pretty tough too. You play Lexington Catholic later on in the season. You play DuPont Manual. You schedule North Oldham, of course, and then Bishop Brossard. They've been decent, I guess, here and there. What's your opinion?
They have. Brossard's not bad. Brian Goller, I think he took over. He came over from the boys' side, so I think he's going to bring stability there. And I think they've had a pretty healthy preseason. I heard they had nearly 50 kids out, and for a single A school, that's huge numbers.
Yeah.
So Brossard's not bad. Mount Notre Dame out of Cincinnati. They were the #1 team in the city last year for a bit. And for you soccer aficionados, Roosevelt's from there. He's a Mount Notre Dame alum. And they bring back a number of very good players. So, we just tried to play we're scrimmaging Oak Hills and St. Henry. St. Henry has a couple state championships to their program's credit. So we're just trying to make ourselves better, and that's the only way. One of the ways I know how is you got to play good teams.
Yeah, so. I'm going to throw it over to Darren Douglas. He's got a couple of questions for you, Coach. He's over here trying to get my attention. So
actually, I'm just sitting here enjoying the conversation, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, Coach, I haven't kept up very much with girls soccer in the last few years. That's my fault for not doing that. But girls soccer throughout the state, you mentioned South Oldham with 5 and 6 state championships. It used to be dominated by the private schools within Northern Kentucky and the Louisville area. But since then, you've had teams like yourself, like West Jessamine, like Boyle County, like Woodford County, that have all started in South Oldham, that have started to show that the public schools can do just as much damage in the postseason. What do you credit that to?
For more kids that play club soccer. And then I think, some of those other programs have invested resources in their girls soccer programs. And they found consistency with coaches, where they don't have a coach 1 or 2 years and they leave. If you look at those places, Brian over at Boyle's been there many, many years. I remember when I was at E-Town a long time ago at the beginning of 2000, Brian was there. Kevin's been at West Jessamine forever. First Cy Tucker was at South Oldham for maybe 20 years. Um, and I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to having consistency with coaching staff, and then just building a great foundation, and then that's a lot of those traditions carry on. Kids want to play in a place where they're going to get good training and they're going to compete at a high level. So I think parents are much more informed nowadays about what's a great situation for their child, and I think everybody here can say you should always advocate for your kid and try to put them in the best situation you can.
Coach, we got some comments coming in here on the chat. A lot of your fans tuning in tonight to watch you on the show. So, but a lot of them are curious. What's the ultimate goal for the season? What would satisfy you? We know the state championship is obviously the ultimate goal, I would think, for any coach going into the new season, especially with a team like you have coming back.
I think that's the goal. I mean, it doesn't change. And for me personally, I love seeing the kids have that success and kind of punching through some glass ceilings. And so we hope we, can take another step forward. We talked about it the other day at training. We just want to be one of the 2 left playing, not one of the 4 left playing. Yeah. So, we hope we get an opportunity to play in that game. And we talked about it, winning our district, but also getting out of the region. It's going to be a huge step for us because I think, Oldham County might have the best kid in the district, or best kid in the region. With South has Heaven O'Connell there, or the Olivia Stanley kid at Oldham County. You'll hear those 2 kids' names, or the goalkeeper over at North Oldham. Those 3 kids, you'll hear about them all year. Those are 3 of the best kids in the city of Louisville.
Yeah. Do you get any big scrimmages to start the season off with?
Oak Hills from Cincinnati on August 5th. So, okay. Oak Hills is one of the top 2 or 3 programs in the GMC, and they were in top 2 or 3 in the city last year. Of course, the postseason in Ohio is pretty brutal, getting out of the city, and I think they had to slip up. But Kevin Sproul over there, he does a fantastic job, and so we're gonna give it a go against them. I think they'll have had 20 scrimmages, because in Ohio you can scrimmage all through July. They just play 40-minute games against teams, and they don't start tryouts till August 1, so he'll try out right before us, but he'll get to try lots of things. So for us, it'll be a really good challenge, and I think for his team, we're both just looking to try to grow from it. I don't think you'll see any of us going for the jugular in the game, but I think we will just try to learn a little bit more about our group.
Yeah. Coach, anything else that you want to add tonight to let everybody know about, or anything exciting coming up other than the season, of course?
No, I mean, I think the Catholic tournament's going to be something that people want to tune in. Watch, whether they can make it out to the games or they watch online through Prep Spin. I know we had a number of fans that took advantage of that last year, and I think it's great for the game. I think the kids like it. The families like it. If you got grandparents or something out of town, they love being able to watch their grandkids play. So I think it's great for the sport to not just see football games, broadcast online, or basketball games, but that the male and female soccer players at Kentucky get an opportunity to have that venue.
Yeah, we certainly have. Especially here in the Central Kentucky area where we do most of our coverage. In my opinion, I think it's helped countless number of student athletes, not only with the exposure part, but just the promotion of them and, promotion of the schools. I know you've asked us several times to come up there and do a game at Simon Kenton. We got to get up there, Darren. What do you think?
Well, there's several people that have asked us to do various sports, and we've got a busy schedule. But we'll have to figure it out, seriously, because, I mean, when you got soccer like Simon Kenton that's doing big things up there in northern Kentucky, and then, of course, we've been asked to go up to the mountains several times to go to Belfry to a football game, and people, every time I talked about that, they say it's an experience that you have to experience to get up there, to even walk into the stadium. And I've been to Simon Kenton several times for wrestling and for football, so I need to get up there for another sport.
Belfry's the real deal in football.
Yeah, they are. They're amazing.
They're the real deal. Hey,
don't
you
know how
ought
they
to
do
follow.
it.
I know you're going to do a bunch of stuff with Lexington Catholic. You ought to follow them and come on up for that game in September.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I tell you what, Coach, you don't have to sell us on coming up there. We're pumped and excited that that we have the opportunity and that you're wanting us up there. We just got to find it in our schedule to get up there. But I tell you what, we definitely will have you at Lexington Catholic.
Perfect. We'll see you guys then, and we're excited about the year. And thanks for having us on today.
Yeah, you guys, good luck with the season, and tell everybody we said hi, Coach.
I will. Thank you too. Take care, guys.
Appreciate you. Darren?
Yo.
Coach Rob Zoeller, always good talking with him. We do a lot of chat back and forth, through messages, but to finally have a face-to-face with him on the show, that's pretty cool that we're able to do that. Just bring in, a coach wherever they're at on the webcam.
You're getting to experience what I've done for a lot of the time I've been a broadcaster. Just so much with technology makes it a whole lot easier to get in touch with people and things now. So, our next guest, we've actually gotten to meet people like that before too. But William, I want to tell you this: Simon Kenton it's actually a beautiful school. You can't say that about too many older buildings as far as school buildings are concerned. But Simon Kenton's a beautiful school. It's got a beautiful layout right there, and I've never been treated better at too many other schools than my trips up there with our next guest for a football game than I had at Simon Kenton.
We got the Woodford County voice going to be joining us here shortly. We're going to step out. Mac, stay there. I appreciate you for being patient with us.
He's dealt with me for a long time. He's got the word patience down.
He knows you're not
He's
on
got
time.
it down. That's right.
Darren, you're going to be late to your own funeral, I think. But
well, I hope so. Please. Please.
All right, we're going to have Matt Calvert, the legendary voice of Woodford County football and basketball and everything else Woodford County.
Yeah, he is, and if you've been able to over the years to tune in to a local radio station in the area, you've heard the voice of Matt Calvert, and he's actually not just a very good voice for calling sports and doing things to promote the kids and things like that. He decided he was going to make a career change about 17, 18 years ago, and went out of sports editing for the local paper over there in Versailles, the Woodford Sun. He decided he was going to go back and teach. So he teaches 6th grade social studies now at the middle school over there. So he's been a real close friend of mine for a long time, and I'm just so glad that we've actually got him on here tonight and talked to him and stuff. But we'll have him on here in just a minute.
All right, Matt Calvert going to be joining us here in just a few as be right back, folks. We're going to step out. We're going to take a commercial break. Back here more with Talking Sports with Darren Douglas and William Warfield on Prep Spin.